By age 23, I've managed to build a portfolio of over £30,000, and not because of some lucky meme coin investments or an inheritance bigger than my future or financial education really early on. No, just because of a few simple reasons that I think a lot of you can start implementing today. And by the way, I don't say this to brag or flaunt in any way. I just want to show you what's possible from investing if you stick to these 5 very unsexy steps that I'm about to go through in this video. So without further ado, let's get into number 1, which is focusing on personal finance education first. If I was to sit here and tell you how many mistakes I made between 18 and 20, you'd literally just think I'm stupid. Like, I've made so many over the years. I fell for Ponzi schemes, I fell for crypto schemes, gone into the Forex space, gone into all these different get-rich-quick schemes, and still continue to try them over and over again. And the only reason I think I stayed and sticked with these schemes and believed in them so much is because I had no education on what true personal finance looked like. It wasn't until after I'd made all these mistakes that I started reading real personal finance books, listening to real personal finance podcasts, and watching proper personal finance YouTube videos. And I think at 18, for me, it was really hard to tell the difference on what was real and what wasn't. When I kept seeing these ads that kept saying you can get rich quick overnight, I just kept on believing them until it came to a certain point that I realized this isn't working whatsoever. And if I'm being honest, true personal finance education kind of came out the blue. I think it was a Ramit Sethi video, and then I ended up buying his book, and then it kind of just popped off from there, really. So I think for you, the main determining factor that you need to get across is finding people who don't tell you you can get rich quick and finding people that do tell you get rich quick, and get rid of all them. If people are telling you what stocks to buy, what crypto to buy, what Forex to buy, throw them in the bin and go the opposite direction. But what I'll do is leave some of my favorite personal finance creators in the description so you know you're getting the legit stuff, like you're seeing the real people providing real education for you in the UK. Because once you start consuming real content on investing, on how the stock market works, how money works, this is where you become highly knowledgeable, and you can really change your entire personal finance knowledge in about 3 months. So just to round up, once you've got rid of the fakes and you start consuming content from the real people, and you've done this for about 3 months, then you can start considering investing. And this leads us nicely onto pillar number 2, which is increasing your income. The issue I see with a lot of personal finance content creators is them saying if you invest £50 a month over a 40-year time period, you might have £500,000. Now, that is good, of course, but people want more. People want more now, and they want more later. And I honestly think the only way you're going to have a secure future and you're going to enjoy your life right now is if you have a side hustle or a business on top of your 9-to-5 job. For me, and I can only speak on my circumstances, I started creating content just under 2 years ago. I've posted every single day since then, and it's completely changed my life. Now, this doesn't mean if you pick up a camera, you record a video every day for 652 days, like I'm on a streak at the minute, that you're gonna end up in the exact same place that I am. But I can assure you, if you do post content about something you're passionate about for a year straight, something is going to happen. Even if it hasn't turned into something successful, the amount of things you would have learned from posting every day on social media will be so much more beneficial than if you just did nothing in that year time frame. Of course, there are so many more side hustles we can talk about, but I do think content creation and building a personal brand is the best way to increase your income as fast as possible. But Will, what if I don't want to put my face online? What if I don't want to put myself out there? First of all, not everyone will have to do this. Some people run faceless pages that do pretty well, but if I'm going to be honest, putting your face out there is going to bring more opportunities to create more income for your life. And I know you're thinking, well, what will people think of me? I understand that, and I had this at the start. I didn't really want to post my face all over social media, especially where I come from. In England, you know the score. People will take the mick out of you whenever you do something different to the grain, and that is exactly what happened to me. But honestly, if I could say anything, once you've started posting online or creating content for a period of time, people just start to forget. It becomes part of your personality. It becomes part of who you are and how they perceive you. And honestly, they just start to forget that you post content. And if anything, if you start to succeed from this, they will start asking you how you did it. And I know that inspirational talk or whatever it was might not be enough to get you to start posting on social media, but there are so many more side hustles out there. We've got the likes of affiliate marketing, we've got the likes of UGC where you don't really have to show your face, we've got paid surveys, we've got cashback, we've got market research, and we've got mystery shopping. These are all of the side hustles that you can start looking into today and start doing your research. If you do want me to make a separate video on side hustles and do a deeper dive into all of these, then just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure I can do this for you. But now on to pillar 3, which is living at home. Now, before you bite my head off, obviously everyone can't live at home. I know even people who aren't in university can't live at home, and people in university aren't going to be living at home really. But for the select people that it's available to, this can honestly be one of the biggest cheat codes you can use to save and invest more of your money every single month. So if you're between 18 and 22 now and you are living at home, you really need to pick your ideas up. I'm not saying you need to save and invest every single penny, but you do need to start considering it heavily. When you live at home, you have such low bills, it's actually insane. If you're paying some rent to your parents, that is going to be nowhere near as much as you do when you finally do move out. And especially if you're someone with a part-time job or a full-time job, even better, if you had a full-time job, you can save so much of this and still enjoy a lot of your early life. For example, me, I saved a lot of my income, but I also enjoyed a lot of my income, and that's what made it easy for me to save and invest my money between 18 and 23. Although I did only start taking my finances seriously at 21. But this is why I'm so passionate about it, because if you do have the privilege of living with your parents between 18 and 23 and maybe even above, think of the amounts that you can save and invest while still traveling the world, while still going out with your mates, while still seeing your girlfriend and going these random places. You can do all this stuff and still save and invest some money. It's super easy. Because trust me, when you go from only having like 20% of your take-home pay going towards bills to it now being closer to that 60% mark, you then realize, oh my God, I had such a big opportunity and maybe I didn't take advantage of it as much as I could have. And now on to pillar 4, which really does lead nicely from pillar 3, which is automating your savings and your investments. I know at 18 and even up to 25, your discipline and your willpower isn't where it should be. And honestly, to be good with money, you don't need discipline and you don't need willpower. You just need systems that work for you. So for me personally, I started using the pay yourself first reframe, and this changed everything for me. I first read it in I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi, but after this, my life completely changed. I was now not waiting until the end of the month to hopefully save and invest some of my income. I was now saving and investing at the start of the month before the rest of my bills even came out. And honestly, once I started seeing my saving and investing just as important as my rent or my food, that is where my mindset shifted completely. Because let's be real, when you're 18 and you have a big number in your bank balance, and you leave that until the end of the month to hopefully save money, if you still have a lot of money in your bank in the midway through the month or towards the end of the month, you're just going to spend that. You're not going to save it. You're really not. You're going to find a way to spend that money. And if you're starting to feel guilty because this is something you're doing right now, don't be. It's super normal to be doing this, especially at a young age. There are so many people way older than you still doing this to this day. But what I did do is set up a standing order from my bank on the first of the month, as soon as I got paid, to go into my savings account, a high yield savings account. I also had another standing order going into my investment account, into my stocks and shares ISA. And then all of my bills were completely automated as well. So everything was just working in unison, and it was like an automatic system that couldn't be stopped. I was saving and investing without even lifting a finger, and all of my bills were completely gone. It kind of felt like magic at the start, I'm not gonna lie. But when it came to choosing a comfortable percentage of my take-home pay to save and to invest, that was completely down to my personal circumstances. What I save now from my paycheck wouldn't have been as much of a percentage as it would have been when I was living at home. So my honest opinion here is just choose a percentage you're really comfortable with just to start. Maybe just start with saving and investing 5% of your take-home pay, and then over time you can increase the percentage, increase the contributions until you start to feel even more comfortable saving and investing. And before you know it, you'll be saving and investing automatically, and you'll be still enjoying your life and having lots of fun with your friends, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever you like to spend your time with. And lastly, which is probably the hardest one out of them all, I'm not gonna lie, you have to avoid shiny object syndrome. When you're increasing your income, you're saving and investing automatically and trying to build your portfolio to the biggest number it could possibly be, you're going to get a lot of persuasion along that journey. Whether it's your mate or a family member talking about a new crypto in the pub, or your portfolio is going up and down and you don't know what to do, or you see a new stock that everyone's talking about and there are loads of new investments that are suddenly doing well, and you start to give into recency bias, this is where you need to double down on the investing strategy you sorted out in the start. Because once you start tinkering with your portfolio, you start to add new investments, you start to add stocks, you start to add forex, you start to add crypto, CFDs, all of this lot, that is when shiny object syndrome can really affect the trajectory of your portfolio. If you have done your due diligence and your research on investing and the exact investments you want to stick with long term, then none of this should get in the way of what you're trying to achieve long term. And look, I am not saying all of these emotions are going to disappear. We are human. We give into this stuff sometimes, and we see this stuff and we think, oh, should we put a little bit of money into this? It's just part of who we are. And even if we have done our due diligence, you still might fall for it. But if you do make the mistakes and you realize, maybe I shouldn't have done that, you will learn from that. You won't do it again, and you'll stick to your overall investing strategy that you had in the beginning. So a very quick recap: you need the education so you don't panic, you need the income so you have more to work with, you need to live lean where you can to keep, enjoy and grow it, you need to automate so it actually happens, and you need to stay the course so it compounds. And just before I go, I know I'm super fortunate to have lived at home, to increase my income and to do a few of these steps, but I do know there are a lot of young UK adults that can do the exact same thing as me. I'm not special. A couple of these steps will fall down to luck and good fortune, unfortunately, but some of them are not complicated at all. They're actually just not easy to do. And honestly, that's the whole point. Not a lot of people will do this. So if you want more personal finance content from me, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.